Welcome to Sports Now. I'm your host, Kirsten Peters.
And I'm Eric Beideman.
For spring sports, both men's and women's lacrosse came out with a pair of wins this week. On the men's side, Wilkes defeated Wells 22-7 and Mount St. Mary 21-7.
Senior John Wink led the offense against Wells with 5 goals and 2 assists on his way to being named the Offensive Player of the Week, while freshman Luke Palladino followed closely behind with 4 goals and 1 assist.
The 22 goals scored on the day was the second most in program history, just behind the 23 goals the Colonels scored last season against the same Wells squad.
Against Mount St. Mary, Wink and Palladino proved to be essential to the Colonels' success once again, combining for 10 goals and 10 assists while both setting career highs.
Wilkes' 21 goals against Mount St. Mary marks the second consecutive game where the Colonels scored 20-plus goals in a win and their third time in program history.
Men's lacrosse begins MAC Freedom play tomorrow against crosstown rival Kings.
On the women's front, the Colonels were trailing by 3 goals heading into the second half, but a 6-0 run helped the Colonels take an 11-8 lead on their way to defeating Medellin 14-12.
Senior Kira Baccio led the team with 5 goals and 5 ground balls against Medellin. Freshman Dominica Lurch added 3 goals, 1 assist, and a game-high 8 draw controls.
In net for the Colonels, junior Sarah Carlini earned her 5th win of the season with 8 saves.
Against Mount St. Vincent, the Colonels held a 7-1 lead at halftime and closed out the contest with an additional 3 goals in the second half to win 10-6 over Mount St. Vincent.
Just as with the men's team, where the same 2 players had impressive offensive stats, Baccio and Lurch led once again for the women. Baccio tallied 4 goals and 1 assist, while Lurch added 2 goals. Sophomore Ashley Burkhart added 2 goals as well.
In net, Carlini made 12 saves to pick up her 6th win of the season on her way to being named as the Defensive Player of the Week.
The women also face Kings tomorrow in their MAC Freedom opener at home.
As for men's and women's tennis, the two had identical weeks, both falling 9-0 to number 8 ranked Wesleyan and winning 9-0 against FDU Florham.
On the men's side, the win against FDU Florham got the Colonels back into the win column at 5-4 after falling earlier this week to Wesleyan. Doubles pairings of Courtney Murphy and Andrew McDonald, Brad Chow and Mike Ellis, and Chris Maturitz and John White each came out victorious.
In singles, Murphy, Maturitz, White, Larry Skartz, Alec Levin, and McDonald all notched wins to seal FDU Florham's fate. Murphy earned his 4th conference award of the season and 11th of his career by being named the Men's Tennis Player of the Week.
On the women's side, doubles pairings of Jordan Basarkobi and Dasha Yakanis, Francesca Varela-Seri and Laura Zielinski, and Dagny Markle and Alexa Sieri led the sweep.
Basarkobi, Varela-Seri, Yakanis, Zielinski, Erin Volutza, and Rachel Thomas secured singles victories as well to help the women complete their 9-0 contest against FDU Florham. Both
the men's and the women's tennis teams will take on Manhattanville at home this Saturday.
On the diamond, baseball secured a 2-1 series win over Easton while falling 2-1 in the series against DeSales.
Freshman J.T. Hibishman shut down Eastern's bats in the Colonels' 6-0 victory to begin the series, going 5.2 innings and only allowing 4 hits and 2 walks with 4 strikeouts. Sophomore pitcher Andrew Nzanka earned his 3rd save of the season with a clean 1.1 innings to finish out the game.
In Game 2, the Colonels fell short 11-0 despite their 5-run comeback in the bottom of the 7th that tied up the game and sent it to extra innings. Sophomore Nick Pronti led the Colonels at the plate, going 3 for 5 with 1 run and 1 RBI, while seasoned senior Nick Capozzi went 2 for 5 with 2 runs scored and 2 RBIs.
In Game 3, senior Noah Durnan had a stellar performance with 7 innings on the mound, while senior Jack Fisher stole the show on offense, earning his 100th career hit on a game that couldn't have gone any better after going 4 for 4 on the night.
Against DeSales, the Colonels found themselves to be victorious 4-3 in the second contest of the series. Of the 3-game series, both of the doubleheader went to extra innings, demonstrating the tough matchup that the Bulldogs and Colonels proved to have against each other.
Just as Hibishman had an impressive showing against Eastern, the freshman pitcher earned his 2nd win on the victory against DeSales.
Junior Brandon Reno knocked in a 2-run homer in the 1st inning, and sophomore Michael Patrizio secured the game-winning RBI with a sac fly to bring in junior Matt Reinert in the top of the 8th inning, giving Wilkes the 4-3 victory.
Away from the baseball diamond, the Colonels had some fun on April Fool's yesterday.
Head coach Kevin Grabowski tricked his players into believing that they were going to do community service 2 hours away, when, to the players' surprise, they showed up at MLB Network in Secaucus, New Jersey for an unforgettable experience.
Players had the privilege of touring the facility, talking with the anchors, and even making it onto the big screen for a moment on live TV. The Colonels continue their season tonight in a non-conference matchup against Marywood and will face off in their series with Manhattanville this weekend.
On the softball diamond, the Colonels maintained a 9-game win streak with contests against Keystone, Eastern, Lycoming, DeSales, and Stockton. However, the streak came to a close with Wilkes' loss to Stockton in the second game of their doubleheader.
Against DeSales, senior Gab Giordano finished the first game 3 for 4 with 1 run scored, while senior Haley Welker went 2 for 3 with 1 RBI. Junior Celine Podlesny went the distance on the mound, allowing 1 unearned run on 2 hits with 4 strikeouts.
In their second game of the doubleheader, the Colonels found themselves with a 2-0 lead after the first inning on senior Caitlin Brown double that was launched off the left center gap and scored the runner all the way from first. Junior Grayson Staunton went all 7 innings on the mound.
Against Stockton, Staunton proved to be crucial for the Colonels, helping them to their 8-2 victory. Giordano and Brown were also standouts at the plate. However, Stockton snagged Game 2 of the weekend.
To close out the week, men's volleyball fell in both their contests 3-0 to Penn State Behrend and Arcadia. Senior Jones Mensah led the Colonels in both contests with 7 kills and 1 block against Penn State Behrend and 11 kills and 2 blocks against Arcadia.
As for the Beacon Athlete of the Weeks, freshman baseball player Gage Kudry and senior tennis player Jordan Basser-Covey earned last week's honors.
This week, it's senior baseball player Nick Capozzi on the men's side and senior softball player Caitlin Brown on the women's.
Be sure to grab a copy of this week's Beacon that comes out today and can be found around campus to take a look at the Athlete of the Weeks and the rest of the sports section.
That's all we have for today for Sports Now. I'm Eric Beideman.
And I'm Kirsten Peters. We'll be right back after this public service announcement.